What's up, everyone? Whylearn here, and welcome to the first episode of Why Learn Wednesday, the show where we navigate our 20s together by sharing our experiences, where you send me emails and I research and respond to them. First of all, I know, it's Thursday, sue me. Originally, I was going to wait till next week, but I was so fired up today and got a lot of emails, so I'm staying up late, making the first episode on an off-scheduled day for you guys today. Thanks for all your emails, and we've got a lot of topics today. Today, we'll be discussing fear of rejection, leaving a perfect relationship, the fake news media, and accepting yourself while leaving a toxic situation. So without further ado, here's the first episode of Why Learn Wednesday on a Thursday. Let's get into it. Let's get started with the first question. The perfect girl broke up with me. Some of these are kind of long, so I'll paraphrase these emails. Hi, Wylearn. I'm 18 and going through one of the hardest experiences of my life right now. He describes a breakup where this guy was broken up with by the love of his life. They complemented each other, they had similar values, they were perfect for each other, and he mentions that he wasn't that good at communicating and wasn't always present. So she let their emotions bottle up and bam, she broke up with him. Now he's living one of the worst experiences of his life, and these are feelings he wouldn't wish on his worst enemies. She said she needed space, but said in the future she sees a possibility of getting back together. So the final question is, why would someone choose to move on when they can work through it? I believe she loves me. If you love someone and there's a chance at a happy future, why would you still move on? I'm struggling with these thoughts. Please help. Well, first of all, thanks for the question, and I'm really sorry this happened to you. I know the feeling of getting dumped by someone you thought was perfect for you. In one of my worst ones, I didn't get over it for a while. And also, the feeling of kind of wondering if they still like you is exhausting. However, I've seen this story many times, so let me give you my brutally honest thoughts. First of all, it's not entirely your fault that this breakup happened on you, so don't blame yourself. Maybe you could have done better, sure, but she holds some blame for not communicating herself earlier, and she let stuff bottle up. Communication solves a lot of these problems, and there's a failure on both of you here. I mean, it's good that you take responsibility and aren't afraid to say when you messed up. That's the trait of someone who's going to be successful in my mind. It's a normal and healthy thing to do, to wonder what you did wrong, but it wasn't all you, and don't get caught up in overthinking your actions and if you caused this to happen. If I'm being honest, you seem to be idolizing this relationship. We were the perfect couple. We're on the same page with everything, with all these values. You loved her and you didn't see any downsides. But in reality, she's not perfect. This is just the image that you've constructed in your head, is that she's perfect. In the end, she chose to move on. And being in a relationship with someone who wants to end it truly is the opposite of a perfect and healthy relationship. In my experience, when a girl actually loves you, she'll go to the end of the earth to stay with you and will avoid breaking up with you at all costs. She will not leave you. She moved on, and I'm sorry if that's not what you wanted to hear, but the odds are she just didn't value the relationship enough to fight to keep it, no matter how great that you thought it was. So when she says there's a possibility to get back together eventually, in my mind that's complete BS. That's just a line, that's just a tactic they use in order to make your feelings less hurt, just to keep you around in case her life doesn't work out. I would never sit there and wait for her to want to get back together with you. I would actually do this. If you truly believe there's something there, give it one last attempt and reach out and say that you'd like to talk. You want to give the relationship a chance, and if she's not interested, that's totally fine. You just won't be contacting her anymore, and say that you need space, as you need time to move on. So flip it on her a little bit. See what she does. If she says yes, she wants to continue, then great. You grow together and focus on better communication. But if she says no, you tell her thank you, you wish her the well for the future, and then you turn away and never look back. And after this, you will be beginning a journey of a lifetime, my friend. Don't reach out, don't look at her social media, and focus on building a great life for yourself. Hit the gym, pick up some hobbies, focus on school, reach out to old friends. Distract yourself from the thought of her. Once she sees that you're doing amazing for yourself, she might reach back out. And by the time she wants to take you back, you might not even want her. I believe in fate and destiny and God and that anything can happen. If you two are meant to be together, you'll find your way back. But for now, it's time to lock in and grind. Now, you mentioned you're 18, so I'm going to assume that you're either late in high school or early in college. And I'm going to be honest, these young relationships, hardly any of them last. A little stat here is that the percent of people who end up marrying their high school sweetheart is about 2%. So, I've personally known hundreds of people who had girlfriends going into college when they were 18, and I literally know one of them that made it. The odds are not good. It's not impossible, but it's not in your favor. Most of these young relationships just don't work out anyways. Keep that in mind. Use this time to gain some experience and see what you like and learn about relationships. And I think it's awesome that you had this experience in high school, and trust me, you will be better in the end for it, my friend. So as blunt as it is, it's just going to suck for a long time. But then you'll be fine, and you'll be ready. You'll be a better person on the other side of it. You'll hit the gym, pick up some hobbies, and I have confidence that you'll be good. You seem like a good guy. So thanks so much for the question. Might not be what you wanted to hear, but I hope it helps. All right, next question is about finding truth in media. So we've got Anonymous. Hey man, love your videos. Yeah, thanks man, I appreciate it. Love the Call of Duties as well. He's got a question for me. He basically talks about the bombardment of people trying to push narratives and downright misinformation campaigns by a variety of groups and people. People are confused, looking for answers, but what's presented to them is too much to process, and it's difficult to determine what's a fact or what's an opinion. The lines are blurred, and there's a communication breakdown. So how do you know what to do and what to believe is right? At the end of the day, that's what this question is. So I appreciate the question. Thank you. And honestly, I get really irritated by the news media, and even on YouTube. It's like all these headlines are meant to just grab your attention and incite your emotion. So what I've learned to do is to be extremely skeptical of everything, especially if it's a bold claim. And I almost go as extreme as just assuming something's false until proven true. So before this, I literally went and just typed in Trump into Google just to prove a point here. And you can see the results here. And all of these have like a secret agenda to them. So, Trump secretly stayed in touch with Putin. And then it says, like Harris visits The View and denounces Trump. And then it says, Trump's in a mistake-riddled call to his supporters. So, whether these are true or not, they're all clearly trying to push an agenda that, like Trump's talking to Russia. Trump's like a senile old man. And these might be the same companies that were quiet when Biden was being a senile old man. So whether you agree with these or not, I think it just reveals that, narratives are being pushed. And a lot of these articles have an agenda, and they might just kind of put that and their narrative and the bias over the truth. So remove your emotions from it and approach stuff from a logical perspective. Do your own research. And I think even better than getting carried away in politics is to just disconnect from stuff entirely. Go put the phone away. Go outside. Go be in nature, and delete social media off your phone for a little bit. I think you'll find that very useful. I do it at least once a month. I try to do it as much as I can because it's nice to get a cleanse from everything. So I'd recommend that. Thank you for your question. Allow me to conclude this section with my Trump impersonation. Frankly, you need to be careful with the fake news media. It's truly a disgrace. They're dishonest people. CNN, the fake news media, we call them. I look at their website and wow, the fake news all over the place. Frankly, it's disgusting. And we got the next one, fear of rejection. Hey mate, big fan of yours here from the UK here. I love the UK. I was there earlier this year. Love to visit again. Appreciate you could answer this. I'm hoping to help others out too. I'm 24 years old, leaving uni, work for a blue chip company, and I feel like in my personal life, I feel pretty alone. One of the things that bothers me most is I'm really scared of rejection, especially when it comes to talking to girls. Went to an all-boys school until I was 18. I think that's carried over, making me nervous about speaking to girls. As a result, I've never had a girlfriend. My self-esteem isn't great, and it's a bit of a vicious cycle. Fear of rejection makes it worse. I see myself in a more negative light. Going to the gym, eating healthy every day, but I fear talking to girls and rejection. It's having a negative impact on my happiness. Any advice you have is truly appreciated. All right, thanks, man. I appreciate it. It means a lot. Thank you for your question. I relate to this on a spiritual level. I actually went to an all-guys high school and didn't like it very much, I can tell you that. I actually have a story. So before you can drive, basically, as you know, you will meet absolutely no girls because you go to school with all guys, and honestly, then there's nowhere to meet girls. I mean, there's nobody. You can't drive. What are you going to do? Can't ask your parents to go drive you to go meet the ladies. So that sucks. But we'd always go to football games, and I'd be in my own circle of like my close guy friends, and I would like beg them, like, "Hey, please, come talk to these girls with me." And then all of us were just scared. In reality, I was scared to do it alone, but we just do nothing. We go there and just sit in our own circle because we're all afraid at the end of the day. So it's normal to have a fear of rejection. It's a scary thing to do. I'm going to approach you with two angles on this one. First off, I find that it's easier to talk to girls when you're friends with them. So I'm going to flip this one on you. Like, what's something you enjoy doing? Find a hobby where you can meet people. I found that in like exercise classes and clubs and volunteering, even church groups can help you find people with good, similar values to you. And I'd focus on making just a group of friends first, with both guys and girls. And you can make a few close friends, and by that you'll be spending more time with girls naturally in more of a low-pressure situation. I mean, when you're friends with someone, there's no pressure to have this spectacular date. So making friends with this is important. More friends equals more social proof equals more opportunities for dates. So I'd say like if you form a group of people around a common interest, that would be great for you. The second angle, actually approaching them, which can be scary, especially in public. But I'd encourage you to go into it with a low expectation, almost like expect to get rejected, because if you probably will. I mean, the majority of the time that I've approached anyone, I've gotten rejected. And just keep in mind, you'll probably never see them again. So who cares if you look dumb? Don't overthink it. You just need to kind of foster the courage for just 1 minute, just 1 minute of courage. Don't worry about being creepy and saying something stupid and whatnot. Just make sure it's an appropriate environment to talk to them, obviously. But just muster up the courage and go do it. Talking to girls is like anything else in life. You'll probably be bad at it until you try it enough and you continue to improve. I mean, the first time you ever played Call of Duty, were you amazing at it? No. I mean, I probably went like 2-17 for months before I got good. So same with talking to girls. I mean, it's an art and it's learned over time and learned with many rejections. So another way to, advice for talking to them in public. If you're like passing time, like waiting in lines, if you're in the line for the grocery store, if you're in line waiting to buy a drink, that's kind of like not a bad way to start a conversation, because, what are we going to do anyways? So try that, try common interests, try a friend group. That's my best advice, and don't be afraid to shoot your shot, because at the end of the day, once you find one, it doesn't matter. So good luck. Don't be afraid to get out there, and you're doing the right things by bettering yourself. Keep on a good track. Thanks for the question. So this last one, we've got a little bit of a deeper, more complex one, and this one's accepting yourself and leaving a toxic situation. Hey, Wylearn, I'm a recent graduate struggling to find a job. Goes on to discuss how he's learning cybersecurity. He's been going to the gym for 75 days now, and I recently came out to my parents. They do not support it, and we're on non-speaking terms. I live with them, depend on them. There's a lot of tension, and it really breaks my heart beyond belief. Then goes on to discuss how he's getting into investing a little bit and has a big job interview next week. Started writing and that kind of stuff, and has a couple questions. How do I prepare to leave my parents' place properly? How can I set up myself for the future with future investments? And any advice on finding a community, buying a car, or developing skills? And then he said, really appreciate your videos. It's like having an older brother who cares for you. Thank you. Thanks for that, man. That last part especially means a lot. So there's a lot of angles to this, and let me break this down. In terms of coming out to your parents, I don't care what the haters say. I think it's a brave and honorable thing. I mean, you did something that's clearly uncomfortable, that you were likely scared for years or a little bit of time to do, and it's always the right move to be who you are. It might be tough in the short term, and you got to give your parents a little bit of time because they're probably surprised, but it'll be easier in the long term if you live in your truth. I'm really sorry they didn't accept you. I'd give it some time. Maybe they'll come around to it. Like I said, they're probably just surprised. I'm not a gay man, but I'd wager that it likely means that your life will be a bit more challenging from an acceptance standpoint than it would be otherwise. Many of us, myself included, we have things about ourselves that maybe we don't like, we wish we could change, or just something society would look down upon us for. And I find that no matter what it is, you just need to accept who you are and move forward living a good and honorable life, and people will respect that. And from what I can see and from reading this, you've been working on yourself a lot, and you seem to definitely be on the right track. I mean, you've been a beast. You've been hitting the gym, you're studying a high-paying field, you're writing, you're bettering yourself, and in my mind, that's pretty badass. I mean, been to the gym 65 times in 95 days. I mean, shit, that's more than me in the last 2 years. I mean, you're motivating me to go to the gym more. Damn. So let's talk about cybersecurity, too. I mean, cybersecurity is going to have no shortage of jobs. I mean, it's a very important field, and companies are paying a lot of money to protect themselves, and there's a lot of projected growth. So let's go over some numbers. I mean, even at entry level, you're expected to make a lot of money here in the United States, especially working a cybersecurity job. And it's also projected to grow 33% by 2030, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So not only does it pay well, but it's going to keep growing. So in terms of leaving your parents, I'd renegotiate with them a little bit, see if you can buy some time, and if you can't, find a temporary cheap living arrangement until you have a more stable income. I'm about to leave my parents' place for the third time. And my advice would be to be independent before leaving. So, start making your own food, doing your own laundry, square away some income in case something goes wrong. Because you will be out there, you'll be on your own. In terms of investing, I'm going to make a video about kind of investing in finance later because I got quite a bit of questions on that. But you seem to be on the right path, making safe, consistent investments. If you look at most stock market, at least especially the American stock market, it goes up consistently over time, and there's going to be downturns, but avoid get-rich-quick schemes, because anytime there's a get-rich-quick scheme, you should be highly skeptical. Just go with what's safe. You've already opened a Fidelity account. That's great. And I'll talk about this more in depth in another video, but you seem to be doing good there. In terms of buying a car, go cheap. Go cheap but reliable, because now's not the time to ball out, especially if you haven't secured an income yet. I mean, I've never paid more than $5,000 for my car. So, get something that gets you from point A to point B, but now's not the time to flex on your friends, for sure. Then in terms of question about community and developing skills, in terms of skill development, I've honestly probably learned most of my computer science, at least outside of universities, on YouTube. I mean, there's so much stuff on YouTube that's underutilized. I would be looking at cybersecurity courses or going on Udemy. I'd be looking at that. I'd be attending networking events, just seeing what I can learn and who I can meet. And, who can often be the difference in getting you a job as well. In terms of building a community, what do you like doing? You got to, choose something that you enjoy doing and meet like-minded people. So at the end of the day, being different could be a strength for you. Keep doing your thing. Thank you for the question, and good luck on your interview. So that wraps up the first Why Learn Wednesday on a Thursday. So send me an email. Let me know what you think. I'm open to constructive feedback in the comments. If you have a question, as always, I'll link my email below. And any email that I didn't address in this, I'll either address in a future episode or just directly. So thanks for the support, everyone. I really appreciate all your questions, and have a nice day.